What's up with it, YouTube? Back at it again with another one. Grab whatever you need to get in your zone. I promise I won't be long. Today we drinking on goddamn Jose Cuervo, as you can see. Goddamn me, that's my favorite beverage as far as liquor. Goddamn, if you gotta roll up the exotic tree, do that. If you gotta goddamn snort a line, do that. That ain't none of my business. I don't fuck around with it. But at the end of the day, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit them post notifications down below in the description box. Follow me on all social media platforms and all goddamn I fucked up. You can stream my music on all platforms as well. Goddamn me. The links will be in the description box. But at the end of the day, let's get into how Luce Cannon took down Big U's hidden extortion enterprise. You feel me? Yeah, I believe he had something to do with all the shit that been going down in California. Did you know he was even goddamn me took in and used in Friday, even though he wasn't in the movie, he was basically portrayed as Deebo on some shit. This shit is crazy. Let's get into it though.
When the 2025 criminal complaint dropped on Big U, the world would be introduced to a dark trail of alleged crimes. But the complaint itself wraps up all of these activities under one umbrella organization, with the so-called Big U enterprise allegedly engaging in an array of criminal activity, including extortion, robbery, murder, human trafficking, wire fraud, bank fraud, other financial crimes, obstruction of justice, illegal debt collection, illegal gambling, and conspiracy to commit fraud. Some of these crimes seem absolutely crazy in the modern day and make you think more of the Black Hand Mafia extortion seen in the Godfather movies than gangbangers in South Central LA. In fact, Big U actually previously referred to his life as a modern-day mafia story, but things were much more complicated than that, because to cloak this alleged criminal activity, according to the complaint, Big U's non-profit was at the front and center, and this, along with his persona he presented to the public as a
No, that's crazy. Like, for you to be doing this shit for at least 10 plus years, somebody had to been on the inside as far as the police making sure this nigga don't go to jail. So is he an informant? What the fuck is going, like, how you was getting away with all this shit for this many years? You feel me? I don't fuck with snitches. I don't respect snitches. All snitches must die on my soul. But this shit is weird. Like, how the fuck they even knew about this shit? Or if they knew about it, why they ain't do shit? You feel me? Like, it's weird, though. Do your homework on the police goddamn having a side payroll. Do your homework on that shit.
Reformed gang member actually allowed Big U to navigate both the criminal underworld and the halls of legitimate power and business at the same time. His non-profit umbrella organization, Developing Options, which controls a number of seemingly innocent entities attempting to do positive work in the community, actually received over $500,000.
But I ain't gonna lie, Trap Lord Ross, whatever your name is, Whack 100, he was on your motherfucking neck a couple of days ago. Yeah, when you was on No Jumper. You was trying to blame Adam 22 for everything that you said, but you said it out your own mouth. Let's start there. You feel me? Let's get back into it though.
$1 from the GRID program controlled by the City of LA, with a total of over $2.3 million from the City of LA handed over, hundreds of thousands of which Big U allegedly withdrew personally as a salary. He would also allegedly embezzle funds that were meant for community work, in a practice where he would solicit donations from celebrities for his charities, then taking the money for himself personally. The criminal complaint later called Big U's organizations a front and part of a plan for Big U to control the streets of LA undercover, and according to wiretaps, Big U's persona as a reformed community activist was just a facade, and behind the scenes, he was openly claiming how he was still the same man that they said he once was. Big U was also heard on a wiretap saying that no one can beef with him because he'd kill them. Apparently, even later bragging to someone about being the only gangster from his era still murdering people in the...
Who the fuck got a wiretap over there? See, that's why you gotta watch motherfuckers you be around. Do your dirt by your lowly. Don't do that shit with nobody, because you don't know what they own. You don't know what type of loyalty or morals they stand on. Me personally, I'm a stand-up guy. You feel me? I would say more, but I ain't gonna say too much because I already know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's no fucking way, bro. Like, hell no.
Modern day and age. Big U's alleged right-hand man, an enforcer, and underboss was a man named Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, with Mark Martin, aka Bearclaw, being a trusted lieutenant. Big U's name and crew pulled a lot of weight and called a lot of shots in LA for decades, particularly when it came to the nightlife. There's one infamous story about Big U getting into a fight outside of a nightclub in 2014 and a rumoured deadly wave of violence and extortion that came soon after. In a video posted by TMZ, Big U is seen trying to enter a club with his friend who's being turned away who then attacks the security. Big U decides to back up his friend, getting into the fight and ending up being floored by the Samoan security team, being left bloodied and carried away by the police.
Damn, so that nigga got that much pool in the street? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If I had a soundboard, I'd be using that bitch right now. No cap. I don't got that shit right now. Maybe in the future, but at the end of the day, it ain't looking too good for Big U, bro. Like, straight up, it's not. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. I'm gonna keep it a million. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it a band. Whatever y'all motherfuckers, yeah, you catch the drift, though. But at the end of the day, it ain't looking too good for him, bro. They already goddamn think he responsible for Nipsey Hussle. All this other shit is transpiring. It's not looking too good for Buddy. He probably might be cooked.
Stop!
All this shit happened because his homeboy. They didn't get him close. If Big U wouldn't have been worried about his homeboy, none of this shit would even happen.
Hey, close the gate. Close it up. Hey, close it up. Get him inside.
Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out right now. Go. Get him out.
Be cool. Be cool.
I don't want him in this. I don't. Get out.
Get him out of here. Back up. Come on. You. Big U, you straight, girl?
Fuck no.
No, he just swung in my guard. Leave him on the ground. No, he goes to jail. He goes to jail tonight.
He goes to jail tonight. He's ready for it to go to jail tonight.
You guys back up.
Big U later claimed that he had gone head-to-head with 15 Samoan security guards.
At the supper club up here. We was going in. It's only
15 security guards ain't shit for Big U. If you know, you know. That nigga goddamn had the most knockouts in a federal prison or a prison. I think it was like 32 knockouts. He tallying how many times he knocked the nigga out. You think he give a fuck about 15 Samoan big back ass security guards? Boy, he gonna tussle with you niggas.
30, 40 minutes left in the club. This dude high or something. The homeboy high. Yeah, they won't let him in. I'm like, I'm gonna stay out here with him. He just get off on the security guard for no apparent reason.
It's his homeboy fault.
He just fired on the dude. All the security together is me by myself.
Big U, you straight, girl?
So I made the assessment. It's 15 of them. You fit to get your wood. But how the rules go, I'm gonna get down where I'm mad at. I took flight. So when I'm on the ground, I'm wrestling with the one dude came and kicked me. If you look at the film, he kicked me in the side of the face.
Back up. Come on. Hey, give me one fight diving over here. Back up. Back up, guys.
So the blood, while I'm on my back, wrestling with the blood filter in my eyes. I couldn't see.
Hey, guys, back up. Come on, what are you doing?
I think I did pretty good, me versus 15. You know what I'm saying?
Big U would also claim that in the aftermath, hundreds of goons from different gangs came to Hollywood following that incident to back him up.
Bro.
And dudes from every set in LA really stood up and was offended by what they had seen. My homies is Bloods, his cuz, is from every set was upset.
In a subsequent video, Big U
Every
was seen
set
bloodied and in
was
cuffs
upset.
as rappers The Game and T.I., along with Big U's son and an army of 6-0s, square up to the police, initially believing that it was the police that brutalized Big U.
Are you trigger happy? Go! We not you trigger happy? TMZ, put it on. TMZ, hey, get the camera on Big U. Hey, listen, don't touch him. Police didn't do it.
Hey, T.I.
Police didn't do it.
Police ain't do it. Security did it.
But after the crowd realised that the security were responsible for jumping Big U, they began to confront and scuffle with the security with one people.
1-800 call tip or some shit like that, boy. Nigga ain't forgot about that shit. Yeah, you thought I forgot about that shit? Nigga ain't forget. Look, he pointed security right now. Nigga ain't forget, T.I. That's why you took the P off your name. Nigga ain't forget.
personally involved in beating up Big U, taking off running from the mob.
Who did that to you? What?
He did what?
Who did that to you? Please. Who did it? Who did you out? They you up. Your people said because who did it? Who
He's
told
scared
you
as
it?
hell.
Put it down.
That nigga took out running. What the
Then,
fuck?
Rap of the Game even squares up to security himself, ready to fight.
Hold on, the police out there. What the fuck? Hold on. So the police out there and them niggas still squaring up, trying to get at the security? That's crazy, gang. Let's start there. I gotta give me a soundboard.
Sweating
the perfect time
the
to drop a
security
sound.
right now on the police.
New music on the way. 2025 on my soul. I don't do this on my reaction videos, but just know. New music on the way.
Then, what sounded like young Roland 60s members ready to crash out would escalate things further, looking for those responsible and saying that they had never seen Big U in that sort of state, with everyone trying to remove them from the situation before things escalate and get deadly.
I'm talking to you. 6-up kid. I ain't never seen my like that. Who hit you though? Who hit you? What happened? No, I
Yeah, they trying to crash out about that. That nigga got some pull, nigga.
Look,
Nah,
it's a
for
full
real, this shit crazy,
Mexican
nigga.
standoff right now.
I'm finna drop this
We
motherfucker
got a whole
today.
Mexican standoff with Games crew and the police.
The game would still try and square up to the security, who is saying that Big U has to go to jail tonight.
watch your back.
I didn't know ops was a word. I didn't know that.
The whole situation was a mess, and according to one rumor, this actually led to a gang war between the Roland 60s, backed up by other gangs, and the Samoan security gangs that run the nightclub doors in Hollywood, with Big U saying in his hip-hop uncovered series how things got so serious that 4 to 5 people were expected to die over this, with some Redditors even taking this to mean that 5 people had indeed lost their lives as part of this beef.
There was a lot of violence.
You might got
against just
the
clubs
boss
and
status
security
and shit,
against
but you
clubs, and people expected 4 or 5 people to die. We got so many people dying over bull crap. I didn't really want to add to that.
Oh, okay.
That's not the legacy I wanted to have.
So you say, anyway.
That was a misunderstanding. You know what I mean? Went too far. So we ended up shutting Hollywood down. We had to meet with the powers that be.
Now, I wasn't able to find any evidence or cases relating to murders that happened in Hollywood following this incident, but apparently, after things reached a boiling point in the streets, the Supper Club and Big U had a meeting to try and resolve things. This ended in the Supper Club allegedly cutting Big U a check for $200,000 and doing a food drive for his community movement.
You know, we had sat down with the owners of the Supper Club. They wrote me a check for over $200,000. We used about $70,000, $80,000 to do
and a whole lot of fuckery,
toys. It was amazing.
The Supper Club's giving all these free toys and food. They're underprivileged, right? And so I start talking to Big U, the organizer of the event. How come now Supper Club was so keen to be involved?
Well, we've been messing with them since back in, the incident we had. They want to reach out and help the community. For me, being able to take something bad that happened for me and turn it into a positive, instead of continue to let it be a negative, that's what I'm all about.
Supper Club later put out a public statement suggesting that Big U was the victim of a rogue security officer who took things too far, saying that Big U was not arrested and had no part in the violence, with club owners distancing themselves from the security that were working that night and promising that they would never book them again. Clearly, Big U was flesh and blood, like any man, and could also be called.
Either Big U is a CI or he just got his motherfucking feet so deep in the streets. People think of him as such, but he ain't. Cause me personally, this nigga know every move for it happen. He goddamn be extorting niggas. I don't know. Really, I don't give a damn. I'm just reacting to this shit. Let's get back into it, man.
Caught slipping, but just as clearly from what came after, he was a formidable force in the streets who wouldn't accept this kind of violation lightly, and nightclubs would seemingly be a regular target for extortion attempts by the Big U enterprise. The 2025 criminal complaint would outline a situation where Big U shook down club owners, promising them T.I. and Wiz Khalifa to turn up to an event in exchange for 33% of the profits. These artists never...
Damn, that nigga milking the fuck out the promoters, nigga. All because he got into a scuffle with some Samoan security guards. Yeah, well, y'all woke up a monster, gang.
But Big U demanded a $30,000 payment from the club, plus more of the profits, despite not keeping up his end of the deal, with a taped recording depicting Big U pressing the club owner and promising to tear the club up if he didn't get what he wanted, apparently vowing to bring 5,000 Rolling 60s members to destroy their club if he wasn't paid the money. And famous people weren't safe either. The criminal complaint would mention a litany of celebrities and athletes that had paid Big U a checking-in fee when coming to LA, checking in being an extortion method that out-of-town people often fall into, as they're pressured to get into contact with the local gang members, this often involving payments for protection and to not get robbed. The criminal complaint explained that checking in was a street tax that had to be paid to guarantee safety from gangs and criminals in the city, and according to the complaint, the Big U enterprise claimed control of LA and expected to collect tax from entertainers in the city conducting certain types of legit or illegal business. The criminal complaint outlined an incident where boxer Adrian Broner and his friends were part of a fixed dice game against some NBA players, who then checked in with Big U and allegedly paid him $100,000, after which Big U gathered his goons and went to confront Broner, allegedly roughing him up along with his friends for not checking in and for apparently cheating NBA players out of their money. But even as far back as 2020, people on Reddit would debate why Big U pretends to be a reformed gang member.
If I heard that shit right, if I heard it right, that ain't it, gang. So a nigga gotta pay you to check in and then you hit me on the dice? What I'm checking in for? You feel me? Like, if I heard it right, that's what it sounds like. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if it is what it is and you do that after it is what it is, what I'm checking in for, what I'm paying, you know what I'm saying? Nah, nigga. Hell nah. It's only the black culture that do that shit anyway, checking in. Who the fuck? Ain't no Asian coming to America. If an Asian come to America and land in California, you think he finna go check in with Big U? Fuck no. That's what I'm saying. This shit dumb.
Also, openly enforcing the checking-in extortion method publicly. People knew that he was living a double life years ago, and this was an open secret in LA. Big U would even be seen in video clips on social media going to film sets where he had apparently forced the production to check in with him, saying that if they didn't, he would be taking all of their equipment.
Movie production in the hood.
I seen this.
That's how
you
we
really
do
a bum.
Top flight,
you really a panhandler.
TV running this shit, movie set.
Yeah, I keep pausing. I already know what's going on. That shit right there, to me, you really a bum and you asking for crumbs, nigga. The fuck? This the same nigga that basically, matter of fact, let's get back into the video. I'm shut up.
Coming out here, checking in with GB, getting his movies done. You better know it.
And they think that shit cool.
Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in, oh well. We're gonna check you in, all right. We're gonna check in all of your equipment.
So if they don't pay,
we're gonna check in all of your equipment.
Big U was openly the gatekeeper for LA check-ins, warning out-of-towners in numerous clips that if you choose not to check in, you're not safe and you'll suffer the consequences, as well as saying that he too checks in when going to other cities.
When I go to Chicago, I respect Chicago wholeheartedly. I check in.
Do you
when
check
I go
in?
to Atlanta,
okay.
I check in. When I go places, I check in.
Anyway.
And I don't think nobody is safe. I know dudes right now from LA who are actual gang members who have been robbed for their jewelry, who real killers. Like, who really real killers. Like,
so what they
if he
checking in
ever
for?
find out who did that, he gonna knock everybody down. You understand what I'm saying? You just caught slipping. You know, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? And you try your best not to be slipping. And if you have the means not to, why do it? You know what I mean? And it's just about, sometimes it's about respecting, you know, yourself and then trying to get home. So, I mean, you know, I hear a lot of back and forth on that. But, I mean, I don't know that it's a perfect answer other than me, myself, I check in.
But it appeared that Big U even had issues with podcasters like Gilly and Wallow of $1 Million worth of game.
Gilly and Wallow, they got a problem. I couldn't Philly. Them the only two dudes I'm looking for. I don't got no problem with nobody else, no beef with nobody else but Gilly and Wallow right now.
Wack 100 and Luce Cannon would both tell academics that the Rolling 60s, on the orders of Big U, once stripped Gilly and his son and sold their jewelry for $100,000, with Wack 100 also revealing that Nipsey Hussle allegedly ended up giving Gilly $20,000 back because he felt bad for him.
Man, you better ask Gilly.
Gilly no?
No, Gilly got stripped down by the homies.
Because
of Big U.
Wait,
man,
Gilly?
Weird.
Yeah, the homie Rose.
But my thing is, hold
on. We're talking about Gilly the kid. We're talking about the guy with the podcast.
Hey, do y'all think Luce Cannon is slow, or do you think he doing it for the clout? At the end of the day, bro, Big U is your partner. Big U is like literally if you see Luce Cannon, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see Big U. That's how I look at it. Cause the way Luce Cannon is just goddamn talking, he got loose lips. LUCE LIPS. You feel me? I just feel like Buddy either didn't never give a fuck about him or he just like OTF Jam. He been wearing a wire. He been goddamn recording everything this nigga say. But at the end of the day, you in the same predicament as him because you is a Crip. You was rolling with this nigga. You was doing whatever you were doing with this nigga, but you feel like, I guess you could turn on this nigga because of the internet. But that ain't how it work. You gonna go to jail too, nigga. Prison, whatever it's called.
Not worth the game.
He got his son stripped down, and they stripped down Gilly.
What do you? For what? Like what? What do you mean? Gilly never got
You
robbed.
talking too much.
Yeah, him and his son got stripped. They stripped him in the 60s. Big U lined them up. They stripped him, took all their jewelry. And did it, came on the stage and said he did it. And get mad at me like I did it. I ain't did it. I ain't do it. I wasn't, man.
No.
What mad at me for?
Gilly official from Philly, man. Gilly not going like that.
Gilly had his hands up in the mug.
Gilly gave it up.
With his 2 kids. A father that couldn't protect his 2 kids. That's what he is. I told that, look, bro, don't be popping at me. Because with another saying, nigga, that for what?
Hold on. That's Big U talking? Yeah. It's a wrap. Big U is not getting out. From the looks of it anyway, if that's Big U talking about this shit, speaking on this shit, that ain't it, gang. For real.
Roll the 60 Crip for real. Everybody know that is. He telling you, Big U lined your punk ass up. Now, if you got your ass robbed over there, you and your kids, he said Nipsey went over there and gave it 20,000 because he felt bad for him.
However, it seems that whatever may have happened, Gilly would repair the relationship with Big U, as they could later be seen acting very friendly with each other. But no one was safe from the Rollin' 60s extortion racket. But it seemed that the biggest targets were grey market businesses that couldn't rely on the law to protect them, particularly unlicensed smoke shop dispensaries, with Big U and his henchmen allegedly running an extortion racket where they would charge protection money to a store and rob them if they didn't pay up. In some cases, robbing them and giving some of the proceeds back if they agreed to line up other robberies and to prove what they were capable of doing. Footage of one armed dispensary robbery allegedly carried out by Rollin' 60s on a dispensary that happened to be owned by Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam would even circulate on Reddit. And this is where Luce Cannon enters the picture. According to some sources, Luce Cannon, real name Tremaine Ashley Williams, had a tough upbringing in South Central LA, losing his father to a death sentence in prison. Luce found himself deep in the politics of LA streets and prison yards, eventually turning to the music business as a producer, making beats for people around him like Nipsey and Draco the Ruler, before turning to rapping himself, collaborating with Nipsey Hussle during his come-up, and allegedly almost getting signed by none other than Dr. Dre, who, according to Luce, produced his song Bringin' California Back featuring Nipsey Hussle and YG. But in the end, Dr. Dre ended up signing Kendrick Lamar, as he considered him to be the...
I didn't even know Dr. Dre signed Kendrick Lamar. At the end of the day, I don't go harder than Kendrick Lamar. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. I probably could if I got there and really just focused on just my craft and not everything surrounded by me. But at the end of the day, I never heard of Luce Cannon. I never knew he was signed. I never knew he even rapped.
The safer choice who didn't have as many potentially disruptive ties to the streets.
Some piece in it, man.
Yeah.
You had a record with him in 2013, right?
Yeah. Bringing California Back, produced by Dr. Dre with featuring YG.
Hold on, you said produced by Dre.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Like Andre Young.
Yeah.
Oh, worked with Dre?
Yeah.
How closely did you work with Dre on that? You just got the beat, or you were able to link with him?
When I went to jail, it was like he wanted to sign me or whatever. It was me, Nip, and Kendrick Lamar. So at the end of the day, he was like, y'all getting people killed. People getting killed out there. I don't want to be around with this gangbang. I learned my lesson from dealing with the last situation, and he chose Kendrick Lamar.
That makes sense.
However, in another early interview, Luce would also imply that he was in fact the producer of the song, making the melody of the beat with a church piano while being locked up.
So you basically wrote everything. Did you produce that track too, right?
Yeah, I produced it. I did everything.
So when you're in jail, how were you able to kind of make that beat?
They had church, right?
Okay.
I used to go in the church, use the keyboards, like that. That's how I did it. I was like,
and
it came out dope. So.
No, for real. I remember that was the first song I actually heard, that you created and that you were in. I was like, hell yeah, this is dope as hell, because you had YG and Nipsey, and it was about, kind of bringing Cali back, the hardcore, just like kind of a party vibe with it too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like when I do music, and people don't even understand like the hook, me singing on it, like rapping. I did like, so it's like I do everything. I make it easier for other artists.
Perhaps the beat might have been a collaboration between Luce and Dre, although according to a poster that was posted by Luce himself, the producer is tagged as Buckwheat on the beat, but perhaps this version was a remake. But anyway, Luce has indeed allegedly racked up production credits and writing credits on projects with numerous major artists like Rihanna, Snoop Dogg, The Game, Nas, and 50 Cent. And he supposedly even worked as the opening act for Drake and 21 Savage during their It's All a Blur tour, although he's not included in the Wikipedia page about the tour for some reason. These discrepancies seem to raise some interesting questions about Luce's background, or lack thereof. In fact, according to Luce's twin brother, Jermaine Williams, much of Luce Cannon's alleged music production credits are actually not true at all.
Even though he has a little bit of music on his platform, he's got the Draco song, he's got the Nipsey song, he has claimed all kind of music success with people that I know for a fact he doesn't even know. He don't know Nas. But the Luce Cannon that I know has been worked with Nas for probably a decade. He doesn't know none of these other people that he's claimed to produce, that he's worked with. Have you heard some of his claims of his music success?
I could only go by what I did for him. Like he have songs with Game. He got songs with J Rock. He got songs with Nip, YG. Songs that I produce. I can't speak on anything that he's produced. I mean, that I heard little clips. People send me little clips. He would have been too young to work with these folks when they was doing their music and they did hits and all that stuff. So if people wants to believe just that he says, so be it. All I could do is say what I did with him.
Moreover, LA YouTuber Street TV, together with guests like the rappers Munchie B and Spider Loke, have claimed that Luce has stolen his entire public persona from an older hip-hop industry insider that also has the name Luce Cannon.
Got me on this Luce Cannon, anti-Luce Cannon, anti-fake Luce Cannon campaign is because I have a personal friend that I've known since, I want to say 13 years old, 14 maybe, that goes by the name Luce Cannon. That's been in the music business since I've known him. That he's introduced me to some of the biggest rappers that I've ever met. I met them through the real Luce Cannon.
So you saying it's two music industry niggas named Luce Cannon, and one of them stole it from the original Luce Cannon? That sounds like some Boosie badass and Nipsey badass shit. I don't know though. If you know, you know.
Guys, I believe this is the reason why Luce Coochie Lips Cannon chose Luce Cannon as a name to run with, because of the credits that were already attached to it and the lack of a apparent profile that was so obvious. Because if you from rolling anything, especially 60s, I don't care if it's 90s.
Like, I get what he's saying, but like, if you got that motherfucking LLC or trademark, nigga wouldn't be able to goddamn steal your shit. So these goofy ass street niggas ain't getting LLCs. They not. You feel me? Like, come on, gang.
20s, 30s, anything. And you have a name that includes O's. To eliminate the O's is so contrary to what we do when we play with words and represent what we represent.
Yeah.
He had to take that name for the purpose of receiving the exact same credit that your partner was getting.
The real Luce Cannon hit me up during the MySpace years.
That's what it was, MySpace.
And he asked me, who is this dude, Luce Cannon? He's supposed to be from 60s. And I remember we had I think he called Steve Lobel because he knew Steve Lobel was tapped into the 6-0s. And he said that, I think Steve Lobel told him that, oh, it ain't nobody. There's nothing to worry about.
My mama, dad, homies, daughters, lokes, loved ones, everything I love and live for, my sister and my sons. It's the same thing I did. It wasn't Steve, but I hollered at Big U. He called me back with the exact
Same report, bro. Back in 06, when I ran across this mother content of Luce Coochie Lips Cannon lying on me, claiming he had met me and disrespected me, and I had no idea he existed. Oh, you don't say, cuz you not no crip. Look how far he would go. That's why you guys know he been trying this since 06.
Normally, I wouldn't care.
Right.
But I grew up with the real Luce Cannon.
Right.
The real Luce Cannon is getting calls all the time about what this dude is doing. About
What the fuck? So it's a copy, a clone, a carbon copy. Man, niggas can't copy and carbon. Niggas can't copy or carbon copy this goddamn format.
claims that he's been with other celebrities that the real Luce Cannon never been with. So he's got to take these calls. I never did a song for 50 Cent. He has worked with Nas. He has worked with some major dudes. Right. This dude, the fake dude, is just
I see that putting
it all out there.
Robbing dispensaries is one thing, but robbing song credits and your entire career history is just wild. But Luce's former partner, Jasmine Gigi Adams, also told Street TV that Luce has told many outlandish lies about himself, painting him as a possible pathological liar.
Tremaine, he kind of gets you into a place. I mean, it's real intense. When he first meets you, as you guys can all see, I'm sure, from the interviews that everybody has seen, the lies are outlandish, and he's very good at, when he's outed for the lies, he'll come up with an even bigger lie. And then he's got, little minions around him to support the lies, and then, next thing you know, you don't know what to believe, even though you have the proof in front of your face.
Okay, all right. How about Nas?
So you telling me niggas getting rich off of propaganda? Niggas getting rich off of lies? Boy, that's how you get your bitch ass whacked. Because you lie. You're talking too much. You saying shit that ain't even real. Half the shit you speaking on, you wasn't even around to even know about. You feel me? Nigga, this nigga Luce Cannon gonna be goddamn... Yeah, I ain't got much. If you know, you know.
No, Nas is cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
what was it like when you were working with him?
Just like Cubs was gifted a whole nother level. So it was like a different vibe. It was like out of here. It's like a different atmosphere.
What did you do with him?
Produce for him.
Oh, what did you produce?
The song with him and what's that fat thing? I produced so many records, I be forgetting the damn names.
But I think that was kind of the reason why I stayed, because the fake Tremaine didn't have...
No, I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't hang with him. He the type of nigga that scared the bitches away because he just be lying. You feel me? He just be lying about his whole lifestyle. Like, I can't fuck with it, bro. At the end of the day, if you made it, you a millionaire, whatever, I salute it. Not even a millionaire. If you got 50,000 plus, I salute it. But at the end of the day, don't dilute it and try to downplay a nigga goddamn intelligence because you know this and that about somebody, or you know a certain person with a certain caliber of a name. Like, get the fuck on, bro.
It's not like he had tons of money or anything when I met him.
So
I think it was more so about myself. It was just me.
When you look back at it, was there anything about him that you actually liked?
He was very persistent. He was showered you right away with just like flowers, very persistent, and taking you out,
That's
kind of
like
just
me.
treating you like like a lady. He never pressured you for sex or anything like that. He was just very persistent, kind of came off as a gentleman. And then of course he's telling me these lavish stories. I own Subways, I own GameStops, I have my life together type thing and stuff like that. And I had my own businesses too, so it was kind of like he makes you feel like you've met your match.
But whatever the case, Luce Cannon would eventually find himself in the podcast world, appearing frequently on LA's leading rap culture podcast, No Jumper, arguably becoming a loose link when it came to the secretive code of the streets. But before Luce had fully transitioned to a more sanitized media presence, he was allegedly towing the line for Big U in the streets, specifically conducting robberies of dispensaries that were being shaken down. According to the criminal complaint, on July the 5th, 2021, a robbery went down at an unlicensed dispensary that had been paying up to $25,000 a month to the Big U enterprise, but they ultimately got tired of being extorted and decided to stop paying up. On that day, 11 thugs were sent to the store, including Luce Cannon personally, with them running into the dispensary with guns and masks, robbing the store of cash, stock, and even sticking up the customers. Apparently during the robbery, one of the masked men put the store owner on the phone with Big U who
That's all I
invited
got
the
left.
victim to his home, and when he arrived there, he found Big U and the robbers with the proceeds of the robbery, telling the victim that he just robbed himself, giving him back some of the stolen things and demanding $10,000 so it doesn't happen again. Now, this is a crazy extortion method as it is, but to make matters even more crazy, years later, after falling out with Big U whilst on the No Jumper podcast, Luce Cannon would discuss this incident openly, saying how he found it strange how Big U would send them out on robberies and then the victims would later turn up to take their things back.
So basically it's like, cause he'll be like, he'll manipulate things like,
I'm a street nigga. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if these niggas is on what these niggas is on, I can't even associate or affiliate with myself with none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this is bogus. This shit bogus. That's a word that I ain't never said on these reaction videos. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, click the link in the description box below and turn on post notifications. But on my soul, I never goddamn, nah, this ain't it, gang. This ain't it for sure, for sure.
we go and do something, and as soon as we do it to show up to the house like 10 minutes later when we trying to, counting everything, right? And we be like, how do they get the? Oh, well, we're gonna just give them like $40,000 back and stuff like that. But cause it's actually putting us in paperwork, right?
Luce also claimed that Big U had supplied guns to the homies, but noted down the serial numbers for these guns as collateral.
Seen it get like 20 guns, and when he got 20 guns, he's selling them to the homies. But I'm like, why are you writing down the serial numbers? So it's like he was doing like that, and I didn't catch on. So it was like I'm waking up.
Yep. Yeah, I keep pausing the video. Nah, this ain't it. This ain't it, gang. I swear to Jesus Christ, this ain't it. Everything that he's saying, 9 times out of 10, it might be the truth, but then again, it might be 25 and 75. You feel me? I don't know. But at the end of the day, what I'm telling you is, the nigga felt like a nigga wasn't doing enough for the nigga that's holding down everything for the enterprise. You know what I'm saying? So, that's probably why Luce Cannon got a loose lip, but you really on some snitch rat ass shit. You know what happened to rats and snitches?
Up now, you get what I'm saying? Because I'm his right hand man. You get what I'm saying? So when it came down to like dirt and stuff like that, I'm gonna get it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Ultimately, it would seem that Luce Cannon's fallout with Big U was a big contributor to his downfall, as Luce would go on podcasts and lives on his own social media and speak openly about illegal things that he had done under Big U's leadership. Another crazy situation that emerged in the criminal complaint and on a podcast was an apparent run-in with the rapper Meek Mill, where Luce and other 6'0s had allegedly grabbed hold of Meek at a venue and threatened to kill him unless Rick Ross, Meek Mill's label boss, gave them $50,000, which was apparently paid up.
I heard Wack on the interview talking about what I did to Meek Mills.
Wait, you did something to Meek Mill?
Oh, Lord.
You said y'all was trying to kidnap him. No, that's cap. There was a Big U portion of it.
Yeah. So basically, Meek Mills was talking real reckless on Twitter and stuff like that. So
talking reckless.
Doing
it now.
Yeah, so we caught him at the club where he was performing at. As soon as he walked in or whatever, all the security that was with him, they spent around. Grab cuz. Put on the phone with Ross.
Honey, all right, that's enough now. We're not going to tell all the details.
No, we got to hear this one.
I said, get on the phone with Ross.
This one will go viral. What?
Get on the phone with Ross, neighborhood Crip. So he got on the phone with Ross. I took on the phone with Ross.
Wait.
Because we needed that bag.
But he owed y'all money.
No, he didn't owe no money. We took the money.
Oh, this was extortion. Oh,
not extortion.
Ken, all right.
See, yeah, we don't want
to. See, I'm going to have to probably bail him out after this interview.
We don't want to.
No. We just say Meek Mill sent on him. It's fine. Meek ain't going to tell.
Look, we don't want to get the extortion part. It was just a business transaction.
How much y'all charge him?
50. That's it.
50,000?
Yeah. I hit Rose. Hey, look, I got this. You got this artist you pumping. You don't want this to get out. We need 50. He brought 52, Crenshaw, and 48. He brought that money. He brought it fast. And when he brought it, I hit Big Useless and said we on our way. Gave Meek Mills his stuff back and left.
Now, for the record, Meek Mill later denied this, and if one thing's...
I ain't gonna lie, Big Useless is... That's crazy. That's absurd. That's asinine. that's erratic. Like, Big Useless?
Clear, Luce Cannon is certainly somebody that will happily lie for clout, but Luce was seemingly so fresh out the streets, he didn't seem to realise that he shouldn't have been talking so openly about these crimes on podcasts. Combine this with the comments that he made about Nipsey Hussle's death and the subsequent cease and desist Big U sent to No Jumper, it was then emerging that Big U had a serious problem on his hands, as the inner workings of his street empire were now being aired out on podcasts for the whole world to hear. Apparently, as a result of a fallout between the two, Luce Cannon was now openly disrespecting Big U any opportunity that he had. But this wasn't just a spontaneous switching of sides. In actual fact, it seemed that Big U's downfall was orchestrated by one man, a former friend turned mortal enemy named Whack 100, who after befriending Big U's former enforcer Luce Cannon would discover a shocking revelation that Big U might have been involved in a sloppy murder in Las Vegas, with Whack ultimately conspiring to drip feed the information to the public and Big U himself in order to accelerate the downfall of his former friend turned enemy. But Whack 100 couldn't take all the credit, as the reality is the downfall of Big U was seemingly his own doing, as the 2025 criminal complaint would reveal just how dark and badly executed this alleged murder was. But despite this, it would be 4 years before anyone would learn the details, and by then it would be far too late for Big U to escape these serious charges.
So that's why Whack 100 beefing with Big U, I guess. I don't know, man. Look, at the end of the day, I be out the way. I don't be in niggas' mixes. I don't be worried about what a nigga got going. But I'm going to say this right here. If you going to do dirt, if you going to do something to somebody, do it by your motherfucking self. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, that nigga that you did it with gonna throw you under the bus anyway. But at the end of the day, man, I'm gone. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification bell, and click the link in the description box below. As you can hear the goddamn slurs in my word, I'm a little intoxicated, but it's all good. I made it. I'm Gucci. I'm gone, but I'll be back. Y'all stay safe.